I'll be sharing my screen. Can you guys see my code editor? Yeah, yesterday we have stopped here, right? So today we will be learning another topic called as a form. For example, if I submit the form, it is not throwing any error, right? Even though we don't enter any data. So we don't want those type of inputs. Sometimes we have to do validations like uh, this value is required. If you fill some forms, when you don't fill the value and try to submit the form, it will throw the error, right? This field is required. So we will learn how to learn those forms, how to implement those forms today. So forms are implemented using a object called form. So what we have to do is we have to create an object called form, and we have to pass the entire values, this column, to the form. Now what happened is there is another field called 10 text form field. The difference between text field and text form field is in text form field we have a function called validator. What happens is whenever we change the value, you can validate that value. So what happens is, if you see the validator, see form field validator, its type is it takes the value and it returns the string. So whatever error you want to display, you can pass it as a string. Here what I am doing is, when if the value is null, or if the value is empty, I will be throwing this field is required. Otherwise I'm throwing null. Null means I don't have any error. See, you don't have to declare this one. Similarly, I can do this thing for email, and I'm adding the same validation. But what we have to do is we have to assign a key to the form so that when we click on any button, we can run the validation. It is nothing but global key of form state. The syntax you may not understand now. I will explain it in a few minutes. So for every form, you assign a key so that in on pressed, if you call form key dot current state dot validate, this validate function is a boolean. What happens is when we click on the button, it runs the validate in the form key based on the current state, and it try to validate the values which we have entered.
Sir,
If you
screen got stuck, sir.
what?
Screen got stuck, sir.
Is it visible now? Hello. So what happens is, if we run this application, see, now I entered my name, and if I submit the form, see, this field is required. If I enter values, see, if I run the value, email is neglect email. What happens is, if I don't enter any value, see, it is throwing the field is required. This type of errors you can achieve through form. If I remove the value, see, here the email is showing. Now, if we want to show this output only when user enters the value, you can get it by this state. This validate function returns true when all the values are entered. If nothing is entered, it will return false. So what you can do is, you can set a boolean, and you can assign it to the this one, and you can put an if condition. See, now if we do this, if we submit the form, see, values are empty, so it is throwing error. This field is required. What happening is, when we press the event, it will call form key dot current state dot validate. This validate, what happens is, it try to validate all the text form fields we have given under the form. So here it goes to the first one, first text form field, which is enter your name, and it try to run the value, this validator. For value, we haven't entered anything, right? So it pass empty value to this function, and it try to execute this function. See, value equal to null, or if a value is null or value is empty, then it will throw this field is a required error. So now what happens is, it keep that in the in the memory, and it will check the same for email also. So it will do the same calculation, and it will also store that this field is required. Now what happens is, once every form field check is completed, it will throw error like this if any of the form field is not filled. For example, you can customize these messages also. This, the name is required, the email is required. See, if I run this one, what happens is, submit the form. See, for enter your name, it is showing the name is required. For email, it is showing the email is required. So this is how you customize the error messages. Yeah, Jahnavi.
సార్ స్క్రీన్ స్టక్ అయిపోతుంది సార్. మీరు కోడ్ ఎడిటర్ లో యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా సార్, కోడ్ టైప్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు అదేం కనపడట్లేదు సార్, స్టక్ అయిపోతుంది సార్ అక్కడ.
రీసెంట్ గానే వస్తుందా ఇష్యూ?
ఆ, నిన్న కూడా అలానే జరిగింది సార్, ఇంతకు ముందు కూడా ఒకసారి అలాగే జరిగింది సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే. Is it visible now?
కనిపిస్తుంది సార్. కాకపోతే మీరు ఏదైనా కోడ్ చేసేటప్పుడు అది అంటే స్టక్ అయిపోతుంది సార్ అది.
Screen stuck అవుతుందా మీకు?
ఎస్ సార్.
ఓకే. రిమైనింగ్ పీపుల్ మీకు కూడా సేమ్ ఇష్యూ? Changes not visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 So I am scrolling the code editor. Are you able to see the code editor?
నో సార్.
Code editor.
నో సార్.
This issue. Is it visible now?
ఎస్ సార్.
Yeah. See, I am making the changes. If it is not visible, just let me know. Okay. So this is the error messages for first variable, first text form field. So you can customize the messages as you want. Like the name field is mandatory, like this. You can write your own error message here. See, the name field is mandatory, this email field is mandatory. Okay, this is how you create forms in Flutter, and this is how you validate things. So once the things are validated, you make network call to the backend, so that based on that one, it shows the output to you. That network call part, backend part, we can discuss later. Now you have to understand how the form works, how the validation works. Okay. Now every time we are storing the variable, right? Instead of
Sir, when
storing
you changing the code, we did not visible, sir.
code changes are not visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wait, guys. I will just to see the solution. Is it any common glitch or any changes we need to make? You guys, just wait a minute. Be in the call. One update is missing from my side. I will just finish that update and I will join the call. Please stay in the call.
Okay, sir.
Just 2 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, okay, guys. I'll share the screen now. Now, is it visible? Hello, guys. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You are able to see my code editor? I'm scrolling.
No, sir.
No, it may not reflect immediately. Can you see? I'm just scrolling. I'm not making any changes. I'm just scrolling my code editor.
No, sir.
Yeah, hello, guys. All permissions are given, so don't know why this glitch is happening. Is it visible now? Guys, is the screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So earlier I told that every time you make the changes to the variable, I mean this text field, you don't have to store it in every variable. So instead of storing it in any variable, we have a text controllers. What happens is we assign controller to each text form field, and we get the value of the current input using those controllers. The controller is nothing but text editing. We called it as text editing controllers. Is my changes visible now?
No, sir.
I'm adding text editing controller called name controller and email controller. Is that change visible for you?
No, sir.
Oh, okay, guys. We can call the session for today. I can fix those issues as soon as possible, and I'll make sure it won't happen in the upcoming classes. Okay, we
Okay, sir.
can call
Okay,
the
sir.
session for today. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience. We can start half an hour before tomorrow. Is it okay for you? This half an hour I can compensate in tomorrow class. We can have a session from 8 to 9:30. Okay. 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 Thank you.